for coming and seeing my presentation. I'm going to talk to you guys about the art of making a cappuccino at home the easy way. Okay, so first let me tell you a little bit about coffee itself. So the benefits of coffee. There were several studies that have been conducted, and one of the things that they have found is that there is a positive relationship between drinking coffee and lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. And this is mainly due to the high content of antioxidants present in coffee itself. They're not linking it directly to caffeine. They think that there is a different compound that lowers that chance. In the same way, they did a study on mice, and they found that mice that had coffee on a regular basis as part of the diet had a lower development of Alzheimer's. And in addition to that, it was also found that there is an inverse relationship between pancreatic cancer and drinking coffee. So, keep that in mind when we drink a cup of joe. So what do you need to make a cup of cappuccino? Essentially, coffee, milk. You can use heavy whipped cream. You can use coconut milk. I like to use a little bit of chocolate syrup in whipped cream because I like my coffee sweet. And the equipment, my presentation is not about making this amazing cup of coffee with super expensive equipment. I just want to show you how to make a cup of cappuccino at home with whatever it is that you have already. Okay? So first, what is a cappuccino, right? We hear all these lattes, macchiato, and we don't know what's in there. Well, basically a cappuccino is 1/3 espresso or coffee, 1/3 steamed milk, and 1/3 foam. And the foam part, it depends. I like my coffee with less foam, but traditionally people say that there should be about 2 centimeters of foam in your cup of coffee. And I wanted to show you guys this picture because people actually, there's an art in making figurines out of the foam of the cappuccino, and it gets really cool. Okay, so I'm going to break this process into 2 main steps. The first one is the coffee part, and the second one is the milk part. So we have all these kinds of coffee. We go to the store and, there is French roast, light roast, New England roast. I didn't really know what all they meant. So there's 3 main properties to coffee, right? The first one is the roast level, the grind size, and the equipment. So we have different types of roast, and there's a whole intense process involved in this. Light to Italian, right? And what this means is how long has the bean itself been cooked. And just to summarize, out of everything that I read, I developed 2 rules. The first one is lighter roasts are more acidic, and they actually do have more caffeine. And darker roasts have a stronger flavor, but they have less caffeine. So when you go to Starbucks and you order a cup of espresso, you're actually getting less caffeine in your cup than if you order a lighter roast coffee. And the second property is grind size, right? So why is grind size important? Grind size is important because it relates to the quality of coffee that you get based on what equipment you have. I like the mocha pot, and for the mocha pot, they recommend using medium fine grind. Cuban coffee is very finely grinded coffee. But, for example, if you were to go to the store unknowingly and purchase a bag of coarse grinded coffee and use your regular, Keurig, you will get, as a result, a coffee that's very watery because the equipment is not designed to extract the coffee, the molecule itself. So I'm just going to show you a quick video next onto how I usually make my coffee using an AeroPress.
So, the first step doing the cappuccino is getting the water boiling. Once the water is at boil point, the next thing we want to do is grind the coffee. This must be done shortly before the water is boiling in order sure that we're going to have fresh and the best quality coffee. In this case, we're already pre-grounded the coffee, as you can see. So the next step would be to assemble the AeroPress. Super easy. You know, bottom.
So that is the AeroPress right there. And as you can see, I'm pouring the coffee into the AeroPress with hot water, and I'm going to mix it, right? And they recommend letting the coffee sit for 2 minutes, right, with the hot water, and that just allows for maximum extraction of the coffee molecule itself into the water. They compare AeroPress coffee to espresso coffee. The only difference is that if you want a real espresso maker, it's going to be like $600 on the cheapest side, while this is like $40, and it's super easy at home, straightforward. Then you have a metal filter instead of a paper filter, and when you push through, the pressure that you create actually pushes the molecule of the coffee in the water out into the cup, leaving the coffee ground behind. I call it impurities, it's coffee ground.
And we're going to have a beautiful, just fresh.
It takes a lot of pressure. It does take a lot of pressure to get that. But as you will see, you get a nice cup of coffee. Boom. Okay, so this is another picture that I found that was absolutely awesome. There's this guy, Mr. Kimamoto, who actually has developed a whole art in making figurines out of foam. That little kitten was made out of foam. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so second main step, the milk, right? So things that we want to consider is the type of milk, the ideal temperature, and the technique. What I have found is that higher fat content in the milk is easier to steam and easier to foam. However, heavy whipped cream is very tricky, and I will show you guys why. So when you go to the store, if you ever want to try this technique that I'm about to show you, you can just knock yourself out. You got silk, you have coconut, 2% chocolate. You know, you can do this with any kind of milk. The ideal temperature that baristas recommend for foaming and steaming milk for cappuccino is between 120 and 150, right? But most of us are not going to be measuring the temperature of our coffee every morning to see if we got the milk at the right temperature. So what I have found is that if you want to steam half a cup of milk, of regular whole milk, you know, you microwave it for 30 seconds, and then you shake it into a closed container for 30 more seconds, and then you want to re-microwave it for another 20 seconds. After the second round of microwaving, you're just going to mix it slightly to get like a little bit of the foam back into the steamed milk. So I'm going to show you a quick video about how this is done.
Okay, the next step in making our cappuccino at home is to steam the milk. Instead of using a stove-top steamer, I'm actually going to use the microwave in order to illustrate you guys how easy it is to do this at home without any special equipment. So I have here half a cup of 2% milk. That's roughly 120 mLs per ounce. So we're going to microwave that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that milk in the microwave. It's important for you guys not to put it longer than 45 seconds if you have a strong microwave, because you will burn the milk and essentially just ruin the quality of it for the cappuccino. So you take the hot milk, you pour into a closed container, and then you shake it vigorously. One caution with this is that you want to make sure that you pick a container that closes well, not something that just sits on top of it, because this is what can possibly happen. I was trying to steam heavy whipped cream, thinking that I was going to get a better quality milk for the cappuccino, and instead I picked the wrong container, and when I shook it, it essentially exploded. So just to recap, this is pretty much like a diagram of what a cappuccino is supposed to be composed of. You know, we got our layer of foam, steamed milk, and in the bottom we got the espresso. And I have tried to do this, and I tried the very simple flour on top of the foam, and it's not nearly as easy as you think it is. Not at all. But because I am inspired by this, I wanted to show you what people are doing nowadays with this foam. They're really taking this to the next level. So this is like a kitten, and you can see a little fish on the side, and they actually take, and this is all done by hand, and they create all of these figurines on top of your coffee. I still cannot even make a flower. And I just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to watch my presentation. And I want to know if you guys have any questions about the process or the coffee.
Where's my cup?
Okay. That comes next.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.